This is Anarchist of Darkness, also known as Sir Killington of Color Struck, and I'm here to speak with you guys about representation. Now, why am I wearing this mask? I'll tell you guys a little later. Now, representation. I've talked about these in my other videos, never really focused on it, not because it's not important, but it really is important. I usually do it in the form of complaining about Hollywood and books and comic books and characters and stuff like that. Now I stopped doing that because there's no point, because the only way black characters are ever going to get on is if we support these characters, support these artists, support these writers who are out here pushing pushing diversity and actual diversity. We're not talking about tokenism. Tokenism is Token from South Park, essentially, that one token black family that lives in a white suburb, or that one token Asian person, or that one token gay person, that one token female character. That's tokenism. That's not diversity. Now, I've been reading these books called Saga, so Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. I'm already on chapter 5. I'm almost done with these. I finished 4 yesterday. A month or so ago, I got 1, 2 in. I got 1 by myself. I read that and I loved it. And I got 2 and 3. My wife bought me 2 and 3. And it's about the story of this mom, one race of people, and her husband is another race, and their races are at war and they're killing each other. But these two, in the midst of all of that, bared a child. As you can see, the child has horns and wings, little bitty wings. You can hardly see it. It kind of looks like debris. But she is a hybrid of these 2 races of people. It's a very important story because it has a lot of undertones of what goes on in the real world. And it's funny because it kind of reminds me in some sense of what I'm doing with my book. It's just more, the characters in these books are more original because I use vampires and lycans and stuff like that, only because I grew up, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer and stuff like that, so I was like, fuck it, I was definitely going to use vampires and stuff like that. And even a race of people that I made up myself, but unfortunately it's not original, because as soon as somebody start reading about the race of people, they're going to be like, oh my god, that's Avatar. Well, no, it's not like Avatar. Anyway, yes. Diversity and representation, they go hand in hand. Because when people like me see characters who look like them, they see that, oh my god, they see a different representation of themselves. Instead, like when I was growing up, I saw the only representations of black people I had growing up was Wesley Snipes in any other movie he's ever been, of dark-skinned people who look like me. Wesley Snipes, Booker T, the wrestler. Not many comic book characters until Shattuck Shock came along, because he was the main character. But all the other black characters I ever saw were always like the background characters. They were always the token characters. I never really felt any connection to them. Even Black Panther, to an extent, I never really felt any connection to them because I didn't really like. To me, they were always background characters. They weren't really popular. Nobody really cared about them. And then when you did see them, they were always playing the background. But, people like Booker T, any character Wesley Snipes ever played, he was the background in some movies. But, Blade and stuff came out, and you had Static Shock at one point. These representations showed me that I could do something more with my life, not just sit back and be in the hood and not do anything with my life. Because essentially, when I was growing up, as a black male in this country, you're taught that you're nothing, that you're not worth anybody's time. The only job you can essentially get is in the penitentiary. That's the only job you're going to get. You're going to get hired doing immediately. People don't want to hire you because of the way you look, because of the way you dress, because of the way you speak. And it's not even, and let's not demonize the way somebody speaks, okay? That's like, these videos, when I speak, I'm not the most articulate, if that's a word. I don't articulate the best. I stutter a lot. I say a lot. I say like a lot. I'm not the best at communicating, but I can communicate, okay? I don't quite look the best, Studies showed that employers hire lighter-skinned black people versus darker-skinned black people because darker-skinned black people are somehow, for some reason, and it's not for some reason, because of Sambo and blackface and all those terrible tales about dark-skinned black people, they're scary to white people and scary to everybody else around them. So dark-skinned people tend to not get hired as much as light-skinned people do. That's why representation is important, because it shows you other things. Because when I was growing up, when you turn on the TV, on the news, people like me who look like me were on the news for killing somebody, raping somebody, Central Park 5, all this stuff when I was growing up, right? All these things, I don't think, actually Central Park 5 wasn't no, I don't think so. Yeah. But whenever you turn on the TV, something negative was being displayed about black males. Black women too. I was always black males this, black males that. Or we were funny. That was pretty much it. That was the only representation you were getting. And it's good. We have to represent ourselves. We have to not only support the black creatives, we have to start doing more of this and supporting each other. Okay? I'm not even sure if these people are black, but I'm pretty sure because each and every color, each and every character has a different color, skin tone to it. They're all over the place, and I love it. We have to start doing that. We have to stop. I'm not going to say stop supporting Marvel and DC, but I'm going to say stop riding their dick. Okay? We have to start representing. We have to start representing diversity as well, because there's a lot of black artists out there who I know who make stories who pretty much only do Asian or white characters, because they know, because of the way we treat each other, that black people, or not even just black people, white people don't support black and brown. They don't really get black and brown, so they're not going to buy black and brown. So it's not going to happen. On a larger scale, that is, when it comes to mainstream. So, you guys, representation is very important. And the reason I was wearing this is because I think my students were kind of amazed today, because they never seen one of the male students go out of their way of making themselves silly. And I was running around doing stuff like that, and the kids were really responding to it. They never really seen a male do that, I guess, or a black male for that matter. I guess they were used to me being black men being thugs, I guess. And these are just children. And it's like, why do you do that? Like, asking those type of questions. That's the reason I was wearing it. I don't, I'm a silly person, so I don't have a problem making myself look silly. But teaching them, I was teaching them about patterns. If you see the patterns, there's a BBA and there's an ABC pattern here. I was teaching them about patterns. And also, to the 20 women staff members in the school, there are 6 males. Now, I'm not saying that there need to be more. We need to push out women teachers. I just think that there needs to be more male representation in schools. Because when I was growing up, all my male teachers were like gym teachers. Actually, yeah, every single male teacher I ever had, except for my 4th grade teacher, Mr. McGirt. Yeah, all of my male teachers, all of them, every last single one of them were gym teachers. There was 3 Mr. Jacksons, and they were all gym teachers, and Mr. McGirt. Those are the only male teachers I've ever had, and they all were gym teachers. And we have 2 gym teachers at this school right here. So you guys, representation is important. Our kids need to see more diverse things. They need to see more representations of themselves, especially if they're black and brown children. I told you guys yesterday about my book. I showed my book. I showed the characters, and those kids' faces lit up. When I mean they lit up, like the joy in my heart was like, yo, the thing that you always wanted to do, you've done it. And it was only about 10 of them, and it was about 20 kids in a class. And about 12 of them were really paying attention and really were into it. And when they all saw the characters, their faces lit up because it looks like them. Now right now on TV, there's more representations of black and brown characters than there's ever been on American television, or better representations. But it's still not up to par where it needs to be. There's still a whole lot of black and brown men being portrayed as thugs, and that is the only thing they've been being portrayed as, or being portrayed as dumb or something. So representation, diversity is good for us. We need to stop with this Marvel and DC and supporting everybody else and start supporting our own. Don't just support Empire. Support a comic book guy. Support me with my novels. I have plenty of friends. I could put some links down below to go like and subscribe to their pages. Go buy their stuff. Support, guys. We need support in order to get to bring up diversity, to bring up representations of people like us. All right, you guys have a good day.